So we're finally at the end of the season, a successful season. How are you feeling about tomorrow, the party atmosphere and the match?
Well, we're really looking forward to the occasion tomorrow evening. To be able to do it in front of our own fans. I'm led to believe we've sold a lot of tickets as well. It'll be near on a sellout crowd tomorrow night, which is brilliant for everybody. And it just goes to show that the supporters are there. If as a club we bring success and we give them a team on the park to be proud of, that they'll turn out in great numbers to get behind us, and they have done all season. So it's going to be a great occasion to be a part of. It's a brilliant way to sign off the campaign. We are wanting a better performance than the one that we put in last weekend against Airdrie, especially at home in front of our own fans. But against Airdrie, we knew we needed the point, and we got the point to get us over the line to make it formal. But yeah, it's going to be a great occasion for all the families and friends as well, for all the great support that the players and the staff get from their loved ones. They'll all be there and get to enjoy the celebrations.
How much will it mean to you to lift the trophy?
It'll mean a lot. I mean, it'll be my first as a manager. I had limited success, I suppose, as a player over a kind of an 18-year career, only managing to win two major honours, one with Scunthorpe in League One in England, and obviously the more recent one in 2013 with St Mirren. So as a manager, a very, very proud moment. And something that we were talking this morning with the players and with the staff, that they shouldn't take for granted. They shouldn't underestimate what this achievement is. I know everybody will talk about the budget and talk about the squad and everything else that goes with that, but you still have to go out there and get the job done. And the players, their attitude and the way that they've trained all season, the way that they've played. Of course, there has been a few bumps in the road along the way, but I think they showed great character to come through those difficult moments, and to be going into tomorrow's game with no pressure, with no stress of needing a result. I think hopefully that will bring out the best in the group, and they'll be able to go and put on a show for the punters, hopefully.
And obviously, over the course of the season, you've always been favourites. Has that been difficult to contend with week in, week out, that expectation of having to win every week?
I mean, being favourites definitely brings with it an added pressure, but we worked extremely hard in the summer to recruit not only the right types of players in terms of their technical ability, but to recruit the right types of characters, and we brought in some good senior players. Declan Gallagher had a brilliant season alongside Kevin Holt for a large part of the campaign, and I think this will be Gal's third, possibly fourth promotion from this league. So having someone like him in the dressing room who's been there and done it before, I think is a very calming influence on the players around him as well. And obviously Ross Docherty, Kevin Holt, suffered disappointment with Partick last season, and didn't want to experience that again this time round, and that's why they came to Dundee United to try and win the league. So I think the players, the younger ones in particular, I think will take so much from the pressures of this season, of having to go out there and being expected to win week after week. They handled it really, really well, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for that.
Obviously tomorrow night is a game that you don't need to win, but how important is it to win and end on a high?
Well, we're on a great run at the moment, a really good unbeaten run. Our defensive record has been brilliant all season. I'm led to believe it's the best in the country at the moment up to now. I think Rangers are behind us on 26 goals against, and we're sitting on 22 goals against. So we want to finish tomorrow night and make sure that that's still intact. But yeah, we want to go and entertain the fans, and bring that creative part of our game, and just maintain the high standards. I don't want us to play the game as if it doesn't matter, because of course it matters. There's players playing for individual honours as well. Louis Moult would love to try and catch Brian Graham, who's the top goal scorer in the league. He needs a hat-trick to do that, and for Brian not to score tomorrow night. We've got young players in the squad who want to be part of the under-21 set-up in the summer, and there's always people watching the game. So there's a lot riding on it individually. Collectively, of course, there's not as much pressure as normal, but still at the same time we want the professionalism and the standards to remain high.
We've seen how much it means to United fans, and with a couple of pitch invasions already. How important is it for them to just remain in the stands and for you to be able to go round and thank everyone?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to be a killjoy or anything like that. And listen, we loved the celebrations after the Ayr United game, and the fans really embraced that with the players, and there's some fantastic pictures and some great memories for everybody to look back on. And okay, it happened again at Airdrie, so I think the two invasions will be enough, and I think if we can encourage them to stay, in the stands, allow the players and the staff to go around to each corner of the stadium and thank them all in person, I think that would be a really nice way to sign off the season. And
has your attention now turned to next season yet?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been quietly optimistic behind the scenes. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago. We wouldn't be doing our jobs properly if we weren't preparing for next season. We never wanted to get to the stage and to be in the summer and then reacting to the situation. So we've planned as best we can to be looking forward and looking to being a Premier League team. So the last couple of weeks has just allowed us to really get on with those conversations, speaking to players and agents and everything else, and we'll continue to do that over the coming months.
And the chairman, Mark Ogren, is coming over for tomorrow's game. Have you had a chance to speak to him about the job that you've done and plans for next season?
I haven't had a chance to catch up with the chairman yet. He's been busy in meetings today, but I'll certainly see him tomorrow before the game. Spoke to him on the phone, obviously, after the Ayr United game, and he was elated, as you would expect, like everybody else. And I'm really, really pleased for him on a personal level as well. His financial commitment to the club cannot be underestimated, and huge disappointment in getting relegated last season, but he backed me in the summer, stuck by me and gave me the financial backing that I needed to put a good squad together to make sure that we got the club back to where it belongs.
And how excited are you about life in the Premiership?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's where we all want to be. Every young manager and every player out there always wants to test themselves at the highest level, and that level here in Scotland is the Premier League. And I think the Scottish Premier League is a far better league for having the likes of Dundee United in it.
Teams?
We've got a good fit squad to choose from, actually. Kevin Holt, Alex Grieve and Ross Docherty all trained this week, so they will be part of the squad tomorrow, and they'll get some minutes at some point.
All the best, thank you.
Thanks very much.
You spoke about meeting up having words with Mark Ogren. It's quite common these days for employers to ask their members of staff to create their own end-of-year appraisal. So if Jim Goodwin was creating his end-of-year appraisal for Mark Ogren, what would be in it?
Well, great question. I mean, obviously, like any club and like any business, I suppose, at the end of a year, you always do your review, and we'll be no different. And we've started that process already. I don't want to sit here sounding like we're blowing our own trumpet, and which I do get accused of sometimes. But it's important to speak about the targets that we set way back at the beginning of the season. And the target we set, the points tally that we set for the players at the beginning of the season, and one that I discussed with the chairman and the chief executive, was we felt that 72 points would be enough to win the league. That would mean getting 18 points a quarter, and that was always the target, and the players achieved that. We're sitting on 72 points right now and have won the league with an opportunity to get to 75. We wanted to be the best attacking team in the league. We wanted to have the best defensive record in the league. Again, two targets that we have reached. And of course, the main objective is getting the club back into the Premier League. We wanted to do that in style by winning the league. We didn't want to limp through the playoffs and do it that way. And I think when we do look back on what we've done, a lot of people saying it's what was expected, but I actually do think, once the dust settles and we look back on the individual performances collectively, the work we done last summer with the recruitment, some of the experience that some of the younger players have gained, I think we'll look back on it fondly, and we'll not go around patting each other on the back too much, but I think we can all agree that we've done a good job collectively, and we now have to build a squad that's capable of going and competing in the league above.
The performances of Partick, Thistle and Raith Rovers and Airdrie have also contributed to what's been a really exciting season, and probably helped Dundee United perform in the way that they have.
Yeah, and I think, Partick, Raith Rovers, Airdrie, I think those teams deserve a huge amount of credit, and their respective managers and players as well, because, in years gone by, I think 63 points last year, won the league. You know, we're 10 points better off than that. I think the year before it was even less. So in most years, being in the championship, having a points tally like we have right now, we would probably be, 15 points clear, and the season would have been over maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. So I think those teams that you just mentioned deserve a huge amount of credit for making a real title race of it, Wraith in particular. They've had a brilliant season, and they've really kept the pressure on us right till the end, and that's probably brought the best out of us. And I think it's certainly made us aware of the types of characters that we've got in the group, that they can actually handle that pressure, because next season in the Premier League the pressure intensifies again, and the expectations will still remain the same, because you're still playing for a big club, and I think it'll stand us in good stead.
The pressure is obviously off for tomorrow night, but how difficult is that for the players then to stay focused on the importance of tomorrow night's game?
Well, we didn't do ourselves justice against Airdrie last weekend, and as much as we were all delighted and celebrating in the dressing room, having achieved what we set out to do, I was a little bit disappointed, and I made the players aware of that. Live on the telly, an opportunity to go and express yourselves and show people what a good team you are, and we didn't do it. And I could probably think of one or two excuses and reasons why that happened, and maybe some of the squad maybe enjoyed the celebrations after the Ayr game too much. But tomorrow, I don't want to repeat of that. I want us to try and finish the game, finish the season in a really positive note with some great individual performances, a good collective group performance, and just give the supporters something to get out of their seats and cheer about. And the only way you can do that is by being on the front foot, playing with lots of energy, getting into the final third, being creative, and creating goal-scoring opportunities, and that's what we want to do.
Just a couple for myself, congratulations on being named April Manager of the Month, and for you, is that the cherry on top of the cake at the moment with the title secured as well?
Look, I'm grateful to those who have voted for me, and it's a nice way to finish the league on a personal note. But it's a bit of a boring answer, but it's not an individual game, as we all know. Yes, managers, when things are going wrong, tend to take a lot of the flack and the criticism, and sometimes it's deserved. But the Manager of the Month award is for everybody, as far as I'm concerned. You can't do what you do as a manager without the support of your backroom team, and you certainly can't do it without the players going out there and carrying out that message that you want them to do. So really pleased to get it, and grateful to those who have nominated and voted for me, but I would be certainly accepting it on behalf of the whole group.
And just finally, what's your message to the fans that have been there with you throughout the season? You've now obviously won the league, and looking ahead to next season.
Just a massive thank you from myself, the staff, the players, and everyone connected to the club. I know I speak for the board of directors and the chairman as well. Really difficult season last season, but they rallied around in the summer. They bought their season tickets. They bought into what we were trying to do. We didn't get it right every week, but even in those little difficult moments that we had around about the start of the third quarter, they stuck with us. They drove the team on, and they made a huge difference in the stands. And some of the atmospheres that we've experienced at Tannadice, I think about that Wraith Rovers game. It was kind of hairs on the back of your neck moments at times with the way that the supporters were cheering the team on. And I think it's important just to remind them of how big a difference they can make when they do support the team the way that they have done this season. And on the road, they've travelled in unbelievable numbers. We've had 1,500 to 3,000 fans travelling away from home every other week. We're well aware of how difficult everybody's lives are financially, with the cost of of all things really, petrol, mortgages, everything has increased, and for the supporters to still find the money to come and support our team is not something that we take for granted. So we're very, very grateful to them. They deserve to enjoy the moment tomorrow, and just a big thank you from everyone connected to the club.
Yeah, first of all, Tony, just what will it mean to be able to lift the trophy for you tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be for everybody at the club, for all the players, for all the staff, for everybody. It'll just be a kind of pinnacle, a great season, and a season we probably aren't getting credit for. Hearing the whispers, you need to look at the teams around us and see how well we've done. But we've took the league by storm in my eyes, and we've got a lot of points, and we can solidify that tomorrow by getting 3 points.
How tough a season has it been?
Yeah, hard because you're expected to win every week after getting relegated, and it's not easy to shift that focus. Obviously, I was lucky enough I was away out last part of the season last year now to fight for kind of top six, but the new boys that have come in, the boys feel last year, everybody's chipped in and everybody's pushed together, and it's been a joy. And the gaffer said that again in the meeting today. We're back to where this club deserves to be, and it can't just rest at 11th place, 10th place, 9th place. It needs to push on and solidify being the sixth biggest club in the country, which I'm guessing it is, and that's probably the truth, yeah.
Has that expectation to win every game been pretty hard to sort of deal with, cope with over the course of the season?
Yeah, it's probably been hard, the games that we've lost and drew, because you feel like you've let everybody down, whereas at other clubs they probably accept it, but that's a lot of what drives us on as well. And don't get me wrong, you'll get a small percentage of people who aren't happy with anything, but that's life, that's life, and the rest of them, the fans have been loyal to us, they've been good, and they've stuck by us, and you see by the way they travel and the away support.
You previously had a bit of a tough time at United, but Jim Goodwin's shown sort of faith in you this season. What does it mean to you, that level of support that you've had from him, you know, and winning that championship title under him?
Yeah, I wanted to obviously win the league for myself and for him as well, for what he's stood by me and he's helped me, and he's kind of revamped my love for the game, and I was struggling to enjoy it at the start of the season due to the fact that it felt like a fallen place coming back here, and he's got me past that, and I'm really loving my football. I'm loving my time with the lads just now. The changing room's good, everything's good, and no, the season finishing tomorrow, it's mad how quick it's went, because it's been enjoyable, and hopefully we can pick up and go again next year.
Do you see your future at Tannadice, and what will it mean to you to, you know, if your future is here, you know, to play in the Premiership again?
Yeah, I want to play in the Premiership. Obviously, a lot of clubs I wouldn't have went to the Championship with. That's just fact. I probably wouldn't have stayed if it was a smaller club, but you know the potential of this club if done right. And no, I've got another year left here, and who knows, I could be here for 2 weeks, I could be here for 10 years, but as long as I'm here for as long as possible, that would be good.
And we've seen the fans get excited, you know, for a couple of pitch invasions already this season. How important is it for the players to get the chance to celebrate on the pitch with the fans, you know, tomorrow when you do get to lift that trophy?
Yeah, that's it. Obviously the fans enjoy coming on, that makes their years, and that's fine, but tomorrow obviously being on BBC and being able to lift a trophy, then I think they'll know that it's probably time for the players and the staff to just celebrate this moment in front of them rather than with them.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Obviously you face Partick Thistle tomorrow. Just, you know, what are your thoughts heading into that final game of the season?
Yeah, they're in a position where they probably deserve to be, maybe even second. They've had a good season. We've seen the stats this morning on the Y-Scout kind of table, and they've probably not took as many points as they expected, but they'll play deserve. So no, they're probably, for me, got a good chance of going to that playoff final anyway.
And obviously going into the final game of the season, the League's One, you're going to get the trophy, you know, at full time. And is it a case that you all want to put on a show, you know, one last time for the fans this season? Yeah,
there's no point stepping out on that pitch if you're not going to give it your all. Obviously, last week was a tough game. You're a possession-based team. AstroTurf, you only need a point. Probably in the back of our heads, we knew we only needed a point, which is fine. But tomorrow will be a good occasion, a good celebration.
And obviously you mentioned on Partick Thistle, you kind of rate their chances of getting to that playoff final, and you know, obviously you've played against all the teams in the Championship, and do you have a view on if any of those teams might be joining you next season in the Premiership?
It's difficult because obviously Rafe have finished second, which deservedly so because they've got the points tally. Thistle are a decent team. Airdrie's probably the one that surprised me, the best footballing team out of them all, but obviously you've got a doubt in the back of your mind because Airdrie's budget's smaller, maybe their squad to get through that 6 games in 3 weeks, but they can do it. Any one of them can do it. Airdrie are a very good team, and I'm guessing that they'll all get a good bash.
And you know, just finally, do you have a message to the fans after what's been, you know, a long and successful season?
Just enjoy the occasion, enjoy the moment, and we certainly will. And it's not every day you win the league, and hopefully we can kick on again next year.